Hello everyone, today we're from Group 2, I'm going to present about Rolls-Royce corruption scandal. These are our group members.
Hello everyone, my name is Wang Houran. I'm going to talk about the introduction of our case study. The Rolls-Royce bribery scandal is a major case of corporate corruption that has shaken the global enterprise system in recent years. The famous British company was revealed to have bribed its way into business contracts around the world, seriously undermining the principles of fair competition and integrity in the international marketplace. The case involved several countries and triggered a joint investigation by law enforcement agencies from the UK, US, Brazil, and other countries. As a result, Rolls-Royce had to face unprecedented legal sanctions and a reputation crisis, emphasizing the importance of cross-border anti-corruption cooperation and strict corporate compliance.
Hello everyone, my name is Omi Shan, and let's talk about the background. Company involves Rolls-Royce Holdings plc, a renowned British engineering firm, industry, aviation, marine propulsion, energy sectors. Timelines. Corporation occurs from approximately 1989 to 2013. Publicly exposed in January 1917. Investigation conducted by UK Theory Firms Office (SFO) begins in 2012. Countries in practice: China, Russia, India, Brazil, Nigeria, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia. Corporation methods: payment disguised as consultancy fees, commissions and agent fees. Results: difference, prosecute agreement, DPAS in the UK, US and Brazil. Combined funds insisting 671 million impact on Rolls-Royce. Significant damage to reputation, major reforms in governance and compliance policies. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Jianing. Let's talk about the third part, factors contributing to the offense. The first is aggressive pursuit of international markets. Rolls-Royce aggressively expanded into emerging markets like Indonesia, China, India, and the region. Two-way contracts it relies on third-party agents, many of whom use bribery and other unethical practice. The company failed to decade these issues in time, allowing the misconduct to continue for years. Eventually, Rolls-Royce was having fined, and its reputation suffered greatly. Next is the weak compliance and supervision mechanism. The company lacks a strong compliance framework for over 2 decades. Internal audience was ineffective. The compliance team had limited authority, and reports of wrongdoing were often ignored. This was in oversight allowed the corruption to go uncorrected. Last one is a corporate culture that tolerates misconduct. Rolls-Royce efficient financial performance over ethical behaviors. Management often tolerates misconduct if it's contributed to business success, creating a culture where bribery and unethical conduct become normalized and even incentivized.
Hi, my name is Danny. The part 4 is the offense committee must be related to the relevant acts or laws and corresponding punishment. 4.1 is offense behavior. First, Rolls-Royce run a systematic, decades-long bribery scheme across countries like China, India, Thailand, Indonesia, Nigeria, Russia, and Malaysia. Used intermediaries to bribe officials of state-owned enterprise and competitors. Bribery forms went beyond cash, luxury cars, maintenance discount, study abroad expenses, for example like $5 million for China Eastern Access MBA in US, $36 million to Thai Airway official to secure engine deals, fake consultancy contract in India for defense deals.
So, good afternoon everyone, my name is Wang Yue, currently a second-year accounting student from the FAP at UKM. Today, I will be presenting a part of our case analysis focused on the relevant laws the Rolls-Royce violated in relation to its bribery scandal. Rolls-Royce's actions violated both national and international laws. First, in the UK, then breached the UK Bribery Act 2010, particularly the clause on failure to prevent bribery. This means that if a company looks reasonable anti-bribery procedures, it can still be held responsible, even if top management is not directly involved. And second, in the US, they violated the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act because the company has licensed operations in the US. Additionally, their actions contravened international standards set by organizations like the OECD Convention of Combating Bribery and the United Nations Convention Against Corporations. These laws are designed to remind multinational companies that cross-border bribery is never acceptable.
Hello everyone, my name is Kong Yishen. The offense committed must be related to relevant arts laws and corresponding punishment. These legal arts ultimately could not escape legal punishment. In 2017, Royce entered into a deferred prosecution agreement with the Serious Fraud Office in the UK, the US Department of Justice, and Brazilian prosecutors. They admitted to their corrupt practice and agreed to pay a total fine of £671 million, approximately £800 million. This fine is not one of the largest in British history, but also represents an attitude of international cooperation against corruption. The agreement also stipulates that Rolls-Royce must undergo compliance reforms and continue to cooperate with investigations. If they fail to fulfill these obligations over the next few years, the government has the right to reinstate criminal prosecution at any time.
Hello everyone, my name is Xu Yishen. Let's move on the implication. This case has big effects on individuals, companies, and even countries. For individuals, the company looked into over 250 agents. Some were suspended or punished. Some even lost their jobs or chose to leave. In countries like India and the UK, a few were taken to court, while no executives were charged. The case broke the company's long-standing silence and encouraged people to speak up about wrongdoing. For the company, the damage was very serious. This was a well-known brand with over 100 years of history, but it lost the trust of governments and business partners around the world. To rebuild its reputation, the company introduced major changes. They started an ethics department, created a system for employees to report problems safely, and provided training on how to avoid bribery. However, some problems were still there, like weak enforcement of rules, language barriers, and not enough protection for whistleblowers. For countries, the case became a global issue. It got a lot of media attention and led to cooperation between several countries. Big organizations like the United Nations, the OECD, and Transparency International discussed the case and used it as an example. It also encouraged some countries and companies to adopt new rules and standards, such as ISO 37001. In the end, the key message is this: having system is not enough. They need to be followed and enforced properly.
Hello everyone, my name is Gong Ting. Let's talk about making sure to address integrity and the corruption issue. In order to overcome the integrity and the corruption issue relieved in the Rolls-Royce scandal, it can establish strong internal compliance. It should create independent ethics and compliance committees. Regular internal and third-party audits should be conducted to detect irregularities early and ensure transparency in all business operations. Moreover, fostering a culture of integrity is also crucial. Leadership must take an active role in promoting ethical behaviors, setting clear intentions and demonstrating a zero-tolerance policy on corruption. Employees should be trained continuously in ethics, compliance, and international bribery offenses. At the national level, countries should build systems that reward honest behaviors and discourage corruption, particularly in the public sector. This extreme motivator can create a more stable and ethical public workforce, which supports corporate integrity when interacting with government entities. Apart from external motivation, internal motivation should also play an important role. Organizations should make investment to improve workplace culture, boost employee morale, and recognize employees who insist on integrity in their performance appraisals. To conclude, law enforcement and transparency are culture in the battle against corruption.
Hello everyone, my name is Tai Yixian, and today I'm going to talk about the lesson learned from the Rolls-Royce corruption scandal. From the Rolls-Royce corruption scandal, several important lessons can be learned. First, ethical culture is essential. Even a globally respected company like the Rolls-Royce can fall into a long-term unethical practices when integrity is not truly embedded in the organization. Second, compliance must be more than a formality. The scandal showed that simply having a compliance policy isn't enough. Without strong internal control, risk assessment, and proper oversight, policy will fail to prevent corruption. Compliance should be active, dynamic, and properly enforced. Third, leadership play a major role in shaping corporate behavior. In this case, leadership either ignore warning signs or fail to act. This proven need to for the ethical leader who set clear expectations, support transparency, and take the responsibility when things go wrong. The next lesson I have learned is global operation required tailored risk management. Rolls-Royce faced the highest risk in country with weaker enforcement. This showed that the importance of adapting compliance measures to the local legal and the cultural context through proper due diligence and the localizing training. Finally, transparency and the cooperation are key in crisis recovery. Rolls-Royce admitted its misconduct, cooperated with the authorities, and paid fine. This approach helped the company avoid criminal prosecutions and begin rebuilding their trust in public. Overall, this case reminds us that integrity, strong leadership, and proactive compliance are essential for sustainable business success.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Ge. Let's talk about the conclusion. The Rolls-Royce Corporation scandal highlights the significant risk global corporations face when the ethics standards are compromised in pursuit of business growth. It underscores the importance of strong compliance program, ethics leadership, and transparent operations. While Rolls-Royce has since taken corrective measures and paid large fines, the damage to its reputation and trust with stakeholders serve as a lasting reminder of the consequence of corporate misconduct. And also, the Rolls-Royce case also showed that anti-bribery laws around the world are being more strictly enforced. It's no longer enough for companies to focus only on profit. They must be act responsibility and ethically. Building a culture of integrity is essential not just to avoid legal trouble, but gains lasting trust for the customer, investors, and the public.